And it's just like putting yourself in situations you feel uncomfortable with.
Yeah.
And you know you have to do it. And I'm breaking those rules of your own self-doubt.
Yeah. At this point, I've done about 80 webinars in 6 months. So I've almost done 2 years worth of webinars in like 6 months. Oh, you missed last week. Now you got to wait a full week to come to the next one. It's like boom, 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 boom.
You got to take massive actions. A lot of people, they just think about what to do. You got to take action to hire people on the spot. You got to, like, all the ideas, you just got to take action on.
Yeah. If you can make other people wealthy, then you'll never want for anything in your life. Welcome back to another episode of the A-Listers Show, where I bring you movers and shakers, people doing interesting things, entrepreneurs, and today's guest is no different. I have for you today Mitch Alomar, who is an entrepreneur in the software space, online marketer, and just an all-around master networker of a person. So I'm super excited to get this guy in the studio today, chop it up and learn about his story. Mitch, how you doing today, brother?
Doing good, man. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful, Thanks for making out.
Good to be on this beautiful podcast studio. Yeah. I'm glad to be here as well, and it's an honor, it's a privilege.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, finally made it, I guess.
Yeah. So what are we doing here in Las Vegas? What brings you to Las Vegas?
So here at Funnel Hacking Live and meeting new business owners, meeting, millionaires, and really connecting and taking my network to the next level, right? It's like getting those golden nuggets, so it's good.
Well, speaking of meeting entrepreneurs and business owners, you met Mr. Russell Brunson himself yesterday.
Yes, it was good.
How did you just like walk around the casino and saw him?
Yeah, the thing is everybody's so fearful of meeting a celebrity, and for me, I just go in and I'm so scared to always meet all the speakers, and I just let fear kind of just drive me to like the next level of just, I know I have to do it. I don't want to do it, but I'm going to do it. It's like, yo, Russell, what's going on, man? How are you?
Oh,
good,
my
man.
God.
Good. How's everything with you? Good. Let's take a quick photo. And I got my shirt, Lola,
Woo!
and I'm like, so.
You can run that as an ad.
Yeah, and I'm asking people who's been around Russell for years, and I'm like, you want to take a photo? I'm scared. I don't know if he wants to. And it's just like putting yourself in situations you feel uncomfortable with, and you know you have to do it. And I think I'm breaking those rules of your own self-doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we're here at Funnel Hacking Live, which is one of they call it like the rock concert for the marketing industry.
Yep.
This is my first time here. Have you been to Funnel Hacking Live before?
No, my first one.
The first one also.
Yeah.
First and the last, right? The last.
They always say the last, right? I don't know what's going to be a version 2, so let's see what happens.
Yeah. So what are you hoping to get out of this event today or this week?
So I always put myself in these events where I try not to like even expect anything. So even this morning, yesterday, it's like there's some spots that are very kind of dry and like, oh my God, like I should not listen to that. But there's certain golden nuggets you really take away. So even like yesterday, Dan Kennedy was talking about you have to do something so outrageous and something so crazy for your brand that you're gonna really stand out. So what I did was I actually on the thing I hired Tony Hawk to talk about Lola. While he was talking, I said, all right, now I need to hire, I found Impractical Jokes, James Camry, the guy with the glasses, talk about like Sal, and I wrote them scripts and I just hired them on the spot. Like you gotta, like I would have never thought about that while just sitting at home. So you gotta take massive actions. A lot of people, they just think about what to do. And I'm like, all right, you got to take action to hire people on the spot. You got to, like, all the ideas, you just got to take action on.
Yeah. Information without implementation is useless.
Yeah.
And I love the massive action. Now, that's something I'm all about. So tell me what massive action means to you.
Massive action is, even this is massive action. This is massive action of being out here. Massive action is to call 100 people in one single day. Massive action is doing things that's if you have to message 50 people in a single day, every single day for the next three months to see if you get a client. Like massive action is just don't say, oh, I'm going to just do one call. You got to just keep it going.
Yeah. And for me, taking it a step further, which
Sure.
is massive indecisive action. Because some people wait till they know exactly, okay, I know that if I call 100 people, I'm going to get X amount of sales. I'm going to get, but if you don't know how many sales you're going to get from making 100 calls, some people will never even make the calls because they don't know what the output's going to be.
Yeah.
So indecisive action, you have to be okay with not knowing exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But being okay with putting in the inputs.
Yeah.
Like we can't be in control of the outputs.
Yeah.
But we can be in control of the inputs, and that's what's important.
Yeah. Yeah. Even I'm going through something right now with a massive action that I just jumped off stage of the SaaSpreneur event.
Yeah,
and
tell me about that.
It was great. I always do stages, but just to finally speak to SaaS owners in bulk, sharing my story, sharing my values, I gave away all my landing pages, my offers, my SOPs, my entire process of how to get high-ticket clients. And I jumped off the stage, dude, and as soon as I took those steps, I saw everybody coming out of their tables, their steps, give me hugs, like, dude, what's up? And even massive action, even right now, it's like I have 300 people who are messaging me wanting one-on-ones.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's good stuff. But, if you jump off a stage, what, now you're not going to call anybody?
Yeah.
And now you got to set up a workshop to talk to everybody. So massive action is like, you get the opportunities and somebody puts you on stage. They give you the opportunity for a lifetime. What are you going to do with it next? Are you just going to let it, it's like Eminem, you're just going to let it slip away? Are you going to let it slip away, right? So I'm very grateful and very honored. So for every opportunity that everybody gives me. And I tell also the owners that when they give me the opportunity that I'm going to take value on that. So out of the 5 people who were on stage, I'm like posting every single day. I'm talking to everybody. I'm like really standing out because I want to be on stage again, and I want to share more massive value. So you get opportunities, and you got to really that moment you have to take more action on top of it.
So let's take a moment to talk about who you are and what you do. So tell me about your current business. What's your current focus in terms of business? What are you doing?
Sure. So I manage, we do white label paid ads. So we do all the images, the videos, the graphics for all the SaaS owners. We manage over $100,000 a month on ad spend. It's going to like $150,000. So we deal with all industries. It's always the same. And it's the same thing. What is the cost per lead? Cost per booked appointment? And what is the cost for a closing? So all different verticals, gyms, med spas, clinics. So paid ads is really...
So when you say you're doing white label paid ads, so you work with agencies that outsource to you?
Yeah. So agencies, everybody knows how to do paid ads. And for me, they need somebody to create the offer. Somebody needs to create the images, the videos, put the interest targeting, do the retargeting. So even companies, I do for just... If you're getting started, I recommend everybody who's watching this video, just even do $1 a day and reach 1,000 business owners. I'm actually going to put in my slide decks, like if you buy Chick-fil-A or you buy McDonald's, something that is like worth $5 or $6, just carve out $1 a day just to do retargeting ads. So, but like, Mitch, how could it be done? Then you could comment below and message me and you say how it could be done. I'll message you back.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
All right, cool. So that's like your main thing right now is you work with different agencies and run ads for them. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then like the agencies, for example, they may have several different clients.
Yeah.
And then they'll just outsource it to you because maybe they're good at selling, they may be good at content, maybe good at social media, they may be good at this or that.
Yeah.
Maybe they have a software company, but they just don't want to do the ads, and so they send them to you.
Yeah.
And they can handle it.
Yeah. So actually now I can't wait to show everybody what's going to happen in the next few probably weeks or months. But I'm partnering up with a lot of great speakers where they have 400 accounts, 1,000 accounts, 3,000 accounts, and those speakers are so focused on their niches, but to show their audience how to do paid ads for their audience. So it's really good to do one-to-many, and once you jump on a call, a lot of people have questions, and then you implement massive, right? You jump on a call with 1,000 people. It's that structure how to do it, and it reflects to everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about one-to-many.
Sure.
Because I love one-to-many.
Yes.
I grew my whole company with one-to-many.
Yes.
What is one-to-many for people that are? What is a one-to-many? Tell me about what one-to-many even is. Start there.
One-to-many is even this conversation, right? Instead of just talking one-on-one with somebody, can I reach 100,000 people and speak to the same thing? Can I jump on a Zoom call and speak to one person? You have 1,000 people on a call. One-to-many is speaking in bulks or volume, where you speak to massive. It could be a webinar, it could be a workshop. I have one-to-many where I talk to all my friends one-to-many. Even one-to-many is I have a WhatsApp group with 300 SaaS owners, and I share one thing. So, one-to-many is Instagram. I post one single thing, it reaches 20,000 people. So one-to-many is you're not. So one-on-one is like you're being kind of like selfish, just saying one thing to one person. One-to-many is like you're speaking in bulk. It across all platforms, right? That's really, what's your one-to-many? What's your...
Yeah, so I found out about one-to-many in the sales aspect.
Okay.
So I used to do, when I first started trying to grow my business, I would do one-to-one sales.
Okay.
I'd run ads, I'd set an appointment, and I'd meet with them and try to solve their problem and sell them a product, right?
Yeah.
But that was really, really challenging for a bunch of reasons. First of all, if you are doing it yourself, now your entire day is filled up with sales appointments.
Okay.
If you don't want to do it yourself, now you have to have a whole sales team that you got to train, you got to hire, you got to retain, you got to pay. So the one-to-one model, it's really operationally heavy. It takes a lot of time, and it's actually very difficult.
Yeah.
And so one day I just thought to myself, well, why am I spending, one full day to talk to 8 people when I could spend 1 hour and talk to 100 people?
Yeah.
And it just made way more sense to me. So I tried my webinars. And on my first webinar, I made like 17 sales in 1 hour. And I'm like, wait, this is way better than sitting on a call one-on-one all day long.
Yeah.
And from there, I decided, well, that was fun, but why would I stop at one? So I started doing a webinar every week. In fact, Russell Brunson said that if you do a webinar every week for a year, you have a 7-figure business. But my mind naturally wandered to, what if I don't want to wait a year to have a 7-figure business? So I would like finish my webinar on a Thursday, and I'd make a bunch of sales, and then I think to myself, well, I don't want to wait till next Thursday. I want to do it on Monday, and then I'll do it again on Tuesday, and then I'll do it again on Wednesday. I want to do it every day.
Oh, wow.
So that's when I figured out a way where I could actually start doing webinars every single day.
Yeah.
And when I did that, I just really started to take off, because it's all about numbers. So if I'm going to spend, let's say, $1,000 in ads to get a one webinar full, well, let's say I spend $1,000 over 1 week to get a webinar full. I could spend that same $1,000 in 1 day, and as long as my lead cost stays consistent, then I could have the same amount of people show up to that webinar in that 1 day. And then I do that every single day. So I'm moving like 5 times as fast because I'm doing multiple webinars. And so I pretty much grew my business like this. And it's a method now that I call the nightly webinar method.
Okay.
Yeah. And what happened was there's some really cool benefits that come with doing a webinar every single night. For example, instead of, hey, there's a webinar on Thursday, do you want to come? It's like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing next Thursday. If I sign up today, I might forget by then, right? So first of all, your opt-in rate's going to be a lot higher if you do the nightly, because it's tonight. So I know what I'm doing tonight, so I can probably come tonight. And then also your show rate's higher because they just signed up today.
Yeah.
So they remember that it's going to be tonight.
Okay.
Right?
Makes sense.
So your opt-in rate's higher, which means you have a lower lead cost. Your show-in rate's higher, which means you have better sales. And then also, because you're doing it every day, you have a compounding effect. 1 day is great. You have some people show up. The next day, if they didn't show up, you bring them back on. The next day, so they can. So instead of like, oh, you missed last week, now you got to wait a full week to come to the next one. It's like boom, 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 boom.
The power consistency of doing something every single day.
Yes. Yeah. And so I went from, instead of doing a webinar every day for a week, 52 in a week, in a year, I basically did, at this point, I've done about 80 webinars in 6 months. So I've almost done 2 years worth of webinars in like 6 months.
Yeah.
So I've condensed and collapsed my timeline of growth down to a fraction of what it would have been if I was to just do it once per week. So when we talk about massive indecisive action, and I didn't know that it was gonna work out for me, but luckily it did.
Yeah.
And so now I'm kind of creating and creating a whole playbook for this process called the nightly webinar method.
I like that. I do get your text messages at night. I do really get, for the East Coast, you're around 7 to 8 o'clock. And a lot of people there, they are available at that time. A lot of people, it's funny because you have different time slots as well. But I wanted just to say one last thing about the, because probably people are listening to you as like, oh my God, I can't do it like that. That's a really massive action for me. Then I love the daily stuff, right? People are like, oh, I don't want to jump on a daily call. What is the difference between a daily call versus, there's hundreds of people on your webinar. I wanted just to say, so I switched the word webinar. I think it's kind of like a bad word for me now, because webinar is kind of a salesy word. Yeah. So I do, I call it workshop. Yeah. So then actually I have evergreen workshops going on. So I have Eventbrite ads going to an evergreen workshop that's on a Tuesday, and then people are joining. I see my Tuesdays at 1 o'clock, checking out, and I have a Friday at 1 o'clock networking call. So networking call is like getting people all together. But when everybody networks, I'm like, all right, guys. Everybody's here in this networking call to gain business from each other. But what I'm going to do is just for 20 minutes, just to show what I do. If you guys give me at least 20 minutes of your time, I really appreciate it. So then I talk for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and say 40 minutes. So, and then I pitch and then, get, 2, 10, 15 different closings within that time. And then I let everybody talk and I just take a break. So you could call it from, sorry, buddy. I call it from a networking session, which is you're bringing people together, which is a lower cost per lead on that session. It's like $1, $2 per lead on Eventbrite or Facebook, and just bringing everybody together, workshop or networking events. Yeah,
just bringing everybody together. I like that too, and I agree with the word webinar. It seems a little salesy. Yeah. I recently been using the word live event. And workshop, I'm careful to not use that word, or sometimes I'm very careful about being intentional to use that word, because workshop implies that we are going to be actually getting really, really tactical.
Okay, yeah.
And I don't want people to have a mismatch of expectations, because in reality, when I do these live events, these webinars, I'm telling the framework. I'm telling the importance of the framework, and then I'm telling like the social proof of why it's important, but I'm not getting into the actual tactics of how to do it.
Okay.
And that's the way that I've been selling a lot on these live events, because if you give them too much information, then there's no reason for them to even buy.
Yeah.
And also, people get less interested and their eyes glaze over and they aren't as interested. Yeah. For example, if you've ever tried to give informational content on your social media, people just scroll right by it.
Yeah.
If you could hand out $1 million nuggets on your social media, $1 million nuggets that if someone just followed it, that they would like grow their business, and they're gonna swipe right past. Yeah. But if you get on there, shake your booty, you get on there and you tell a joke, you get on there and say like, I made $1 million last month or whatever it is, then they're gonna actually be more likely to actually watch it. So that's just the reality, is that if you get too tactical and tell them exactly step by step how to make a 7-figure business, they're just going to swipe. But if you talk about like the emotional side of it, and like the storytelling and like the proof of it and like the structure, the high level, then people are more likely, especially on a webinar where maybe they weren't really prepared to have 100% of their attention.
Yeah.
But I just met with a guy last night, Jackson Yu. I don't know if you know Jackson Yu.
No, probably by face.
Yeah, he's a SaaSpreneur Diamond Award winner, over 1,000 Go High Level accounts.
Okay.
And he also just won he's here today because he won the 2 Comma Club X Award this year.
What's his name again?
Jackson.
What's his full name?
Jackson Yu.
Yeah. All right, Jackson Yu, if you want to do, this is where I put the plug in. It's like, Jackson Yu, congratulations on that.
He's a beast.
Yeah.
He's a beast. And but he was saying that like he actually charges for his workshops.
Okay.
He calls it a workshop and he charges for it.
Yeah.
he absolutely crushes it. That's what he's been doing.
Interesting.
So and he gives a lot of value out, and he says you got to give a lot of value. So there's just so many ways to do it, man. There's so many different ways. But the only way that you're going to figure out what actually works for you is just by getting out there and doing it for yourself.
Yeah, and also social media. For me, social media I share. It's very interesting. Social media, I get more conversions by sharing like my kids. Social media, I share my dog. Social media, I share me going to church. Like I feel like it's sometimes like very disrespectful to like videotape in church, but I'm like, let me show my kids. And that gets the most views, the most conversion. So when I share the story, sometimes people buy from your story as well. So you connect your workshops, your webinars, your networking to those things. People sometimes after the webinars, they just like convert right away. So there's like a mixture of family, mixture of whatever you do into like you just can't share. This is how I made $7 million. $7 million on this. Sometimes people just buy based on you're from Jersey. Like, oh my God, Mitch, you're from Jersey, dude. I got you. I'm going to buy from you, man. So there's little pain points that not pain points, but people relate to that people just say check. So I use those different things like share my story because people buy from people, really.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to step back a little bit and share how I got here in the last 6 months.
Let's do that.
Dude, it feels, people are like, where were you the whole time? Where did you come from? And it's interesting how I'm just blowing up even faster. And I can't believe I say the word blowing up because even in this conference, you were around me. Like, I sat down even at the Funnel Hacking Live and like, oh, Mitch, how are you? Mitch, how are you? Because people notice you as a pink shirt. I don't have my pink shirt, everybody, but I'm going to bring it back. It's got a little dirty from yesterday. So, you sit in a room and people, they notice you. And how could you be so impactful that you walk into a room and everybody gives you high fives or hugs? And when if you walk into a room, is anybody hugging you? Is anybody knowing you? So I just want to step back. How did I even get here? Which when I share my story a little bit, it's different pillars of how you get there. So I'm just going to start off with 10 years ago, I worked at Microsoft Ads. And it's very interesting. I try to get away from...
I've never heard of Microsoft Ads.
Yeah?
As much as advertising as I do, I've never heard of Microsoft Ads.
So also
maybe Bing or something. I don't know.
You're going to love this one.
Okay.
Everybody's going to love this one. And, people say I look 20 years old, 30, whatever.
Nobody said that, Mitch.
I did get a few people.
Quit playing, Mitch.
A lot. If you think I look like 20 years old, comment below. So I'm actually going to take out my phone here and say a few bullet points because I don't want to miss these crucial parts. But so for Bing, so before even Bing, so when you look at yourself, even for you, 10 years ago, where were you, right? So 10 years ago, where was everybody? They can't even fathom where they were 5 years ago. But 10 years ago, my son was born. So his birth is kind of how everything started. So 10 years ago, there was Microsoft Ads, which was called Microsoft Atlas. Microsoft Atlas, which we did segmentations, we did interest targeting, we did everything through an Excel sheet. So I was the customer service person. You couldn't upload the ads yourself. You would have to call me to do your segmentations, and I'll have to upload it into the system to do your age, your interest targeting, everything for you.
Wow.
So Microsoft Atlas was the only way to upload your ads manually.
Wow.
And when I was there, my girlfriend at the time was so happy. I was making good money. At the time, I thought it was good money. And I was making good money. And, she was like 4 months pregnant. And we were so happy, dude. It was such a beautiful point from going from no money to working at Microsoft. I had my little badge when I walked in. And one day I walked in and they put me into the office and they said, Mitch, you're fired. I was like, no. I have a baby on the way. I just named my baby. I found out he's a boy. He's going to be Mitchell. You can't, let me go. And they're like, yeah, Facebook actually purchased Atlas for $100 million. I got laid off, and my girlfriend was pregnant at the time, and Facebook just purchased Microsoft Atlas, and I was like, all right, let me work at Facebook. And right now that transition was like from 6 months to a year to create Facebook ads. And my son was born, I had no job, and I was like, I want to do ads, and Facebook wasn't ready. Facebook still had the like and the poke and everything, and Facebook really wasn't ready. So I had to work for an IT company, things I didn't want to do, and just literally, it just like felt like everything was going backwards. And then Facebook ads finally came back up. I came back to Facebook, worked in an ad agency, did my own stuff, and kind of just sparked to do ads all over again. So my skyrocket point where I'm here now, so once my son turned 10 years old, like 10 years like me doing ads for other people. So make a long story short, 10 years I was just in a basement. Not as beautiful as this. This is not even a basement. It's a beautiful big studio. And as soon as my son turned 10 years old, my son started kind of challenging me a little bit. He was like, "Oh, Dad, there's a Cybertruck. Cybertruck is going to come out." So everybody sees me as they call me Mr. Cybertruck.
They don't call you Mr. Cybertruck.
I swear to God, I'll show you my text messages.
Oh, shit.
So the Cybertruck thing really came out. I was still like hidden that nobody knew me. And my son comes out of school and he's like, you should get a Cybertruck. And I was like, no. And my son said this most impactful thing. He says, so I guess you're poor.
No.
I said, Mitchell, don't. And I'm cooking, and he's like, so no Cybertruck, you're poor. And I was like, all right, let me take it out. I was like, boom, order. And I ordered it, and it came in, and I got the foundation model. Foundation model is very expensive. It's like $112,000. And I purchased it, and I got it. He was so excited. He was like showing all his friends. And by the way, all of my son's classmates follow me, and half the school follows me on his social media. So when I walk in, it's like, you have. So I go in, and I buy the Cybertruck, and I buy it, and he's so excited. We're going, everybody's taking photos of us. And the next day, Tesla says, oh, we have a new model for $75,000.
Oh, no.
So I said, Mitch, I have to return this thing, man. It's been a day old, and they actually decreased by $30,000.
Yeah.
And he says, I knew it. You're poor.
Oh. You can't win that battle.
So I said, oh. So the purpose of the story is you work so hard of your kids, of your spouse, of your family, and, you know, your son, your kids, your friends challenge you to the next level. And my next level was, so I brought the Cybertruck. I was like, all right, I need more clients to pay for the Cybertruck. The Cybertruck pays for itself, actually, with the people it brings. So I just sit in one place, and all these companies come to me. And the last thing is, like, how I was able to get on stage. My dream was to be on stage. And I said, I said, I really want to be on stage so my son looks up to me, and then he says, that's my dad. Like, you really made it, Dad. And like, when he see me on stage, he's like, Dan, you made it. So so then I got on stage, and he's like, wow, it's you made it. And then so the whole point is, like, when a company, they fire you, you know, recreates who you are. Kids recreate who you are. Your friends create who you are. And these different pillars of this is even the reason why I'm here today, because of purpose of, like, shining a beam so hard of wanting to be an idol for others, an idol for your kids, an idol for your own mom. Like, I take care of my mom. Even like my mom, like, all her expenses are paid. So you really become a purpose of to the next level because the people who you love. So the Microsoft ads story is like, damn, you know, I thought I made it, and then it recreates you into this new person. And then 10 years later, you come to this new person of you wanting to be on stage because, your son wants you to be on stage. So that was such a long story, but it's like, how did this guy get over here? And the Cybertruck really kind of skyrocketed me. If my son would have never, I don't need a Cybertruck. I could literally buy 8 Tesla cars all around my house just to have, one car is like 8 of Tesla's cars. So, kids are purpose, and literally I live in a 3-floor house, 6 bedrooms, 2 kitchens, 3 bathrooms, because I wanted massive family, massive room. And the next stepping stone is like, my son's like, man, it's like, Dad, if Elon Musk gave you a ticket to go to Mars and it was $500,000, would you do it? I was like, yeah. So little stepping stones are like that push, that rocket fuel to get to the next level. I mean, dude, it's such a long story. It's such a like skyrocket story. I would never be here with purpose without. I would just still be in a room.
Yeah,
nobody would know me.
Yeah, sometimes you have to put your back against the wall, or I've seen some influencers on social media talk about buy the Lamborghini and then you figure out how to afford it.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's how it works for me. Maybe it does in a sense, because at one point I actually got a nicer apartment, like right on the beach with an ocean view, all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, I wasn't sure if I could afford it, but I figured like if I wanted it so bad that I was gonna get in there and then figure out how to afford it.
Yeah.
And it's true, as a result, my business grows. You end up hustling a lot harder and going through a period of growth. And then once you go through that period of growth, you pretty much have that whatever you earned. And the skills or like the finances or the network that you built during that time, you get that for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
But let's talk more about your business. So you have the white label paid ads.
Sure.
And then you also have
Lola. Yeah.
So talk to me about Lola, and which is like the bigger party? Like which is like the bigger part of your business? What do you spend more time on? What's more profitable for you, Lola or the paid ads?
So Lola. So let's talk about the paid ads. So there's 2 sides of it. So the paid ads is my number one to, high ticket clients to grow, right? So paid ads, and then Lola. Actually, I get a lot of feedback of I don't want to do paid ads. I want to do something that's
organic,
right? So 0 ad spend. There's different versions of Lola. So there's a LinkedIn version. Actually, the last year, my friends are like, you have a special way to get clients, and actually created my entire process, the last 10 years of how I got high-ticket clients into a special tool. So Lola, the LinkedIn version, and there's parts of her I'm actually giving her away for free. So I went to LinkedIn, and for the last 10 years, I did it manually. I would go to LinkedIn, Easy Apply, the jobs. I would convert my resume into a flyer. I'm the paid ads expert in roofing, in med spas. I would have different flyers. And then every single day, I would submit my flyer through LinkedIn's, the jobs, as a contractor, and they will call me back. And they will say, Mitch, we need a roofing door-to-door salesperson. It's going to be $8,000. I'm like, why you need somebody in-house just to sit and try to make calls when actually I could do your lead generation for you? I'll charge you $2,000. You put the rest of the money towards ads. In 30 days or less, I'm going to give you results. So Lola is the LinkedIn's version to get clients to you. So Lola is a desktop automation where she controls the mouse, the keyboard, in a separate tab so you could work. And Lola is ways to get clients, like with 0 ad spend. So there's the paid ads version, which you're ready to scale and you want to pay ads. People, they don't want to pay ads, not even $1. So I had to create this other version, this Chrome extension, and this dashboard with AI in it, with human behavior to do it. So there's 2 versions of the paid ads. If you don't want paid ads, there's the organic version as well. I don't know if you get that feedback a lot of paid ads. They're like, oh, does paid ads actually work? What is the cost per click? What is the impressions? There's so much like granularity into it. And if you're getting started, you need like so much like lessons to learn about paid ads. What is the cost per lead? The cost per booked appointment? if I made your purchase for $100 to get a $30,000 sale, is that worth to you? So you have to look at what you're offering as that ticket value and what would you pay in order to get that sale for paid ads. So, I mean, there's two versions. So the Lola is more organic, and then the paid ads is the strength of just scaling your business. I have a client right now doing 500 leads every single week. And out of 500 leads, how many booked appointments, how many closings? So paid ads is a way to scale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did you so you decided to start it because you are showing people paid ads, and some people don't want to actually spend money on paid ads because they think whatever, they're scared. Honestly, they're just scared, right?
Yeah.
Because whatever, they're not ready for that. So then you kind of created this software. How did you ever created a software before? Or how did you create a software from scratch?
So these events, you create different partnerships. People actually say, you should create this. You should go to this tool. This tool creates these things for you, this browser automation. I was in Cali and I was in 1,000 Oaks, and people were like, this is how you do human mouse behavior, mouse controls. And I was like, So I go to different events, grab different tools. I mash it together. This guy has a great developer. And you just find different partnerships and you create that special recipe. I don't know how to do it. All I have is an idea. Like, even there's a version of Lola that's coming out next year to do Instagram. You could go to a person's followers, and you could, I'm not going to say which, like, so you could go to their followers and you could message 50 cold DMs every single day, and we get about 10 responses and 3 booked appointments. Like, if you were to do something so manual, and then you automate it, and then Lola, actually, I have to show you, Lola automatically likes everybody's stories. Lola's actually going through my news feed and going through your photos and leaving comments. So everybody thinks I'm interacting. A speaker actually said, Mitch, you always like all my stuff. I'm like, dude, that's not me. That's Lola. And it's like, Lola is the way to, like, what is something you could do? Your VA does something manually every single day, then you could automate it. So there's the LinkedIn I was doing manually. There's the Instagram. So it's something you do manually.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. I think that's really cool because if somebody likes your story on Instagram or Facebook, it shows up right at the top with the heart next to your name.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And what's better? What's a better way to stay top of mind?
Yes.
Because everyone's looking at who viewed their stories.
Yes.
And so there's Mitch's name every single day right on my stories.
Yeah. So
it's a great way to stay top of mind.
Yeah. So all the speakers, you're a speaker, you're highly influential as well, and everybody's highly influential. And why do people remember me? When I go into a room, this guy actually came to me. He had 800 insurance accounts, and he's like, Mitch, dude, you've been liking all my stuff. I've been talking to you. You like all my, and I'm like, dude, this is actually Lola. Like, you have to stand out of the crowd, stay top of mind of you. Like, you could do it manually. You go through Instagram. The problem is people go to Instagram and they don't like. They just swipe. For me, I go to Instagram. I like Instagram. When I started viewing your stuff, and I see my fingers doing that, I was actually in the bathroom. I was like, wait, that could be automated. So something you do always over and over, just you could create a bot on it.
Yeah. Let's talk about that for a second, because I'm always I've been guilty of that, where for a while I didn't really want to be seen on Instagram.
Yeah.
I didn't want people to know that I was on Instagram, so I didn't want to like their stuff.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I always liked receiving likes. I always liked receiving comments. And if somebody liked or commented my stuff, I like that person more. I appreciate them.
Yeah. Yes.
And it's so important. It's free. It costs you nothing.
It's literally free
to flow somebody some power, to give them some props, to give them a little bit of attention, and it's free. It's like it's just spreading goodwill and spreading love, and I think we should be doing it a lot more often.
Yeah, there's no limit to Instagram like stories. I like, I would say 200, 500 per hour.
Wow.
Likes, as we're talking now, it's just liking this stuff. So when you like stuff, you stay top of mind and you're always in front of them. So you feel special. A person feels special. It's literally unlimited. We live in America where we don't pay to have an Instagram account. I have 25 different Instagram accounts that's running automatically, giving me booked appointments, giving me people to my webinars. My goal is to fill up a webinar for 5,000 people from Lola. Like, you have to, like, and outside Europe, you have to pay $10 per account, and you have to verify each account.
Wow.
Like, we live in a state right now where you don't have limits on how many comments you could do per hour, how many story likes you could do. You do have a limit on 50 DMs per account, but if you could create 25 different accounts, you create massive action on that. Just do it manually for now. Message 50 people. See if you get a response saying, I love your content. Are you using Go High Level as well? Yes, I'm doing Go High Level. Would you like to jump on a quick podcast to discuss your session? Like, it's literally that simple. I love your content. Are you using Go High Level well? Are you using this call agency? Are you using a bookkeeping service as well? Like, it's so simple, and you keep it simple. You jump on a podcast call with them. You get to know their business, and the people appreciate you for that.
Yeah. What kind of things do you find work best in Facebook ads? So what kind of success, what kind of interesting tricks and tips have you been successful with in running ads for some of your clients?
So let me just say the first step is you have to know your goals. So you have to know the pixel at the thank you page. So you have to keep it very simple. So I'm actually going to give you this great one. It works for the med spas. We did for Facebook. Actually, I showed it to somebody yesterday. That's why it's top of mind for me. You create different ebooks, right? Ebooks with a simple image and just saying, 15 ways to get healthy, how to get prepared for your wedding day. Like an ebook that's just a title to it. And then you run the ad. You don't even create the ebook. Also, you don't create it.
Wow.
You just create the cover image. You create 10 of them. You run the ads to different ones, ebooks. You see which is the best topic that people want. And then the lowest cost per lead on that ebook, you put everybody on a wait list. So once people opt in, you put people on a wait list. And then you're like, that's my winner. That's my ebook. And then you create the actual ebook on the thank you page. A lot of people, they spend 30 days creating an entire ebook. And they don't even know. They're like, oh, Facebook doesn't work. Create different books, create different images, create different hooks. My landing pages is just an image and just a form. That's all it is.
Yeah.
So your offer for Facebook is the most interesting part. The people, out of 200 business owners that I work with in the last 2 years, 80% of them have failed by using different ad agencies. And sometimes they would hire 3-5 different ad agencies. And I'm like, what's going on? And I see the company says, oh, we're the best bookkeeping company. Request a quote. Schedule a free booked appointment. And I'm like, and then we had 20 roofing companies. The best roofing company I saw was pay for half your roof, get the second half free. I was like, dude, that's amazing. And you know what it was? Instead of switching it from 50% discount, it was like we showed a roof, we pay half, and people were going towards that offer so good. They were like, Mitch, we don't even need to jump on a call with you. And they were client for like 3 or 4 years until they hired a girl, and the girl says, I'm better than you. I'm going to take your job over. Instead of giving him X amount, give it to me, and I'll do it better. And now the company is like, they're trading different ads. They're seeing what's working. I was like, guys, it's been working for the last 4 years for you guys. Yeah. So best thing is the right offer to any business. And you go to Facebook Ad Library and see what your competitors are doing and make a sweeter, better offer than that competitor and win the hearts over that customer. And that's how you're really going to win on Facebook.
Yeah. That's important too. People, so many times they'll spend all this time trying to make some kind of product or make the perfect app or make the perfect book, and then they try to sell it.
Yeah.
But they don't even know if anyone wants to buy that thing.
Yeah.
It's so much more important to find if people are interested in that thing, and then you go create it. To find the market before you create the product, because you don't know what the people want.
Yeah.
You know, and that's where the whole lean business system came into play, right? You create a minimally viable product, you put it out there, you get feedback from that product, you use that feedback to improve the product. You don't spend 6 years creating a product before you even let anybody know about it.
Yeah.
I'm in the pressure washing industry, right? Well, like, I have a pressure washing business. And so often I see people run out and spend $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 on huge equipment, a brand new truck, a nice trailer, a fancy machine, the best hoses, the best this, the best that. It's been $40,000. And then they go on the Facebook groups and they're like, how do I get a client? And I'm like, dude, when I started my business, we did $500,000 my very first year. We did $500,000 in sales in a very small town. Not that that's like crazy, but it's better than 95, probably 99% of the pressure washing businesses out there. And we started with a $300 pressure washer from Harbor Freight, and we put it in the back of my friend's 93 Saturn sedan. We drove around people's cars. And we were able to grow our business because I'm good at marketing.
Yeah.
I'm not the best pressure washer. I didn't know anything about that other than the YouTube videos I'd seen. But what's amazing is if you're good at sales and marketing, then you will outperform the people that are better at cleaning than we are. And that's just a fact. Like, you could be the best lawyer, you could be the best bookkeeper, you could be the best chiropractor in the world. But if you don't have sales and marketing skills, then you will fail and you will lose to other people that are better at sales and marketing than you are, but they may not be better at your job than you are.
Yeah. I want to just say, let's stick to cleaning a little bit, because a lot of cleaning companies, they go from residential to commercial. They're like, Mitch, I want a commercial client who's ready to buy. And I'm like, so who is a commercial? Oh, I want a big warehouse. Okay, you want to target the big warehouse? Yes, I want them to be ready to buy. Okay, what's your offer? Oh, I want to offer the $50 discount. I'm like, these big warehouses, these big construction businesses, they're satisfied with their current business. You have to do an offer that's so remarkable that the warehouse business already has a client. You can't come in there and say, I want to do a commercial. You have to like sweep the person away. And also, it's going to take time for the person to slip up where that warehouse company, they have a current cleaning company, and that person doesn't clean properly, doesn't do a good job. And then your ads are always in front of them with that great offer saying, we're going to clean your whole entire warehouse for free, and we're going to give you $500 to show you we're doing such a great job. Like, if you do retargeting ads for $1 a day and you be in front of that audience when that person, other company slips up and you're there, that's how you win the hearts of that commercial. But some people, they run ads, they're like, oh, Mitch, it's not working. They just want a quote. Oh, okay, that's a great win. Some people are not, buying cycle of a higher ticket sometimes takes 3 months, 6 months, a year. I have an airplane company. They came up to my car. They're like, oh, we sell $20 million jets. We had a great call. They wanted to do QR codes everywhere. It's been 3 months, and they're constantly looking at my social media and still being retargeted. I know I'm going to win over that business, $20 million, based on doing retargeting ads for $1 a day. Like, the difference from you being a marketer and me being a marketer is me being consistent with the ads and me showing up, me liking their stuff, me commenting on their dog stuff. And I see, Lola going and messaging, happy birthday and all these different things. It's the massive action that's, who's going to win over. You think you're going to win over that company. How could you, like, if you're taking down notes on what you're doing now, hopefully this is like aha moment for any cleaning business, any marketing company, that it's being in front of that person over and over again, liking their stuff.
Yeah, yeah. And Facebook is different, right? Facebook is different than Google. And it takes some education on our parts as the marketer to let people know about it. Because it's Google, if I want an electrician, I'm going to go to Google and I'm going to say electrician near me. boom, find the one with the highest rating, call that one.
Yeah.
All right. But Facebook and Instagram is different. It's interruption marketing. It's saying it's me scrolling, being entertained, and then I see stuff that I might be interested in. Like there's different segments of the market. There's people that are interested right now. There's people that might be interested in the future, which is actually the biggest portion of the market. And then there's like people that will never buy from you, right?
Yeah.
But Google ads is this small part of the market. People that need your service right now.
Right now. Yep.
You're going to pay for those. If you want those leads, you can have them, but you're going to pay for them. $30 per click on Google, $50 per click on Google, 5 clicks to get a conversion, something like that, right?
Yeah.
10 clicks, depending on how great your landing page is.
Yeah.
Now, with Instagram and Facebook, there's a huge portion of people that will be interested in your product at some point in time, maybe just not right now.
Yeah.
So the benefit is you get to be in front of them before they need an electrician.
Yeah.
So when they do need an electrician, you're top of mind for them. And so those are the people, and it takes a different type of tone, a different approach when you're contacting those leads because it is different than a Google lead. So there's some kind of education that's required as well. And it's about list building. It's about nurturing. It's about creating relationships with these people. Relationships, yeah. That's something that really stuck with me when I started my marketing agency is I'm not selling, some people like to get really into the math. Like, oh, this many leads, this many appointments, and that's important. You need that.
Yeah.
But you have to also understand that I'm using ads to build relationships. And then from those relationships, I can help to solve their problems. But they're not just a number on a sheet. They're actually people that have issues, that have challenges that we have the solution to. So how can I create a relationship with that person and be the person that person eventually needs in order to solve the problem that they have? And if I can solve that problem, then they're going to be able to achieve their dreams and help their family and do all this kind of stuff. And I heard someone say one time, and it really stuck with me, that if you can so I used to be really focused on wealth for myself.
Yeah.
I want to be wealthy, and I still do want to be wealthy.
Yeah.
But if you can make other people wealthy, then you'll never want for anything in your life.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's interesting with wealth. People look at wealth as different stuff. Even I have somebody who went to a Tony Robbins event with me, and we all walked on. I had a bunch of SaaS owners walking on fire.
Yeah.
We all walked on fire, and that was such an amazing point. It's like, how could you look at something so deep and just if something is burning, just you don't feel the pain because you're so focused on one particular spot that whatever's coming your way, you're staying so focused. And Michelle, she's watching this. She just closed a $7,000 client because really sticking around me, but also the people you stick around with. Sometimes I don't even make the sales from it. People make the sales from me. Like a lot of Renzo is a guy who shouts me out, and he was going through wearing my shirt and just shouting me out. People are actually buying from him. It's like you have so many. It's not fans, it's a community, it's family. I call them all family because we all help out each other. I don't take anything from them. I don't take out any affiliates, but I want the best for people. And sometimes it skyrockets you so much that is intangible content or intangible relationships bring you to the next level.
Yeah. I like that analogy of you're walking on fire, but you're focused on the point ahead of you so you don't feel the pain.
Yeah.
And as entrepreneurs, in life in general, it's all about pain tolerance.
Yeah.
I work out a lot, and I realize working out a lot is just about pain tolerance. The more pain that you can take, the more muscle burning you're able to stand, the faster and the better you're going to be able to grow.
Yeah.
And also in business, business is painful.
Yeah.
It's painful. Everything about it hurts. And if you want to create any kind of meaningful change, you have to be willing to have a high pain tolerance so that you can focus on what you want to accomplish and not focus on the burning on your feet, but understand that I have to go through this burn to get to where I want to go in life.
Yeah. There's different steps, but imagine every step being a burn.
Yeah.
Meaning if, let's say whatever you're going through, you going through an issue of somebody. You go through the burn of your social media content, family wouldn't like the social media content. Some people are like, oh, I love what Mitch is doing. But different levels create different hates of what you're doing. Even if you're helping out everybody else, it just some people, they get stuck in different stages because they can't reach that full potential. They couldn't get the Cybertruck because they're like, and by the way, you could always get a McLaren or Cybertruck, and if you can't do it, you can always return it back in 30 days.
Can you? Not. I don't think so.
Well, I don't think so. I think there's a 14-day policy. You have to look into it.
I don't think so. Not in California.
In Jersey.
Maybe some states. There's I remember I bought a car before and it said there's no cooling off period. You may not return this car. As soon as you drive it off the lot, it's gone.
Well, there was for the Cybertruck. I was, I wanted to return it the next day. I was able to.
Okay.
But just that burning sensation of like my son saying, you can't, you can't afford it, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get more people on. How could I make a system where the system could pay for my car? How can I make a system where it could pay for my house? How can I get so much different incomes to pay for certain lifestyles? Yeah. So it's different thresholds, and the last thing about pain is sometimes I walk and I'm getting yelled at, and dude, there's like tears going down my face, and I still like, it's good. Like I was in Cali and I got yelled at. And, clients, ad accounts were being restricted, and I was like finding solutions, and they were doing Craigslist ads now, and Snapchat ads, and Pinterest ads, and there's so many different ways to go around if your ad's getting restricted. And I'm over here crying, and I go upstairs, and I'm at a event, and I walk in, and I was like, yo, man, it's just your time to talk. And I'm like, let's go. And the tears are going down my eyes. But with success comes with pain. You're like, why am I going through this pain? And then that moment of highlights of you being on stages, like sometimes you go through a pain, and either I could have said no, I don't want to, but you only have 3 minutes. Like I had to wipe away those tears, get all the pain away, and stay so focused that I still had the tears in my eyes. An opportunity presents itself in ways that it's in front of you, and you may not see it, and you're like, nah, I don't want to do it. I'm presenting a lot of offers to a lot of people, and they're saying, nah, Mitch, I don't want to do it. So opportunity is always there, and you're always saying no to it. Yeah. I'm telling people, dude, I just got off stage. I got 300 demos I have to do. Nah, Mitch, I'm gonna try to figure out something. I'm like, dude, do you know, like, people wanting to sign up right away? So you got to take opportunity, Yeah. It's just opportunity and work through it. If you're going through it, you're like, oh, man, I hate my life. You're like, hate of fear comes as like, God has a blessing for you in those particular moments. Just hold on tight, and you're going to fight through the pain. Either it's to meet with me or it's to meet with All-Stars, to meet with anybody. You're going through certain things. Even if you comment this video, it's like, dude, great, amazing. And then we recognize you as like, you're going through something. So I just want to say, keep on pushing forward. I'm going through a lot of different like stepping stones in my life, and it's painful, but I see always the nice white hurdle of like, staying focused.
Yeah. One thing about the Cybertruck story is nothing's ever impossible. It's just that there's a price for everything, right? Mm-hmm. There's a price for everything. So, you got stuck into a bad situation where you ended up overpaying $30,000 for a Cybertruck. Yeah. One day before they dropped the price by $30,000.
Yeah.
Bad situation.
Yeah.
And then instead of, returning the car, you just asked yourself a question that I like to ask myself sometimes, which is, what would it take? Mm-hmm. Like, what would it take for me to just make this difference irrelevant? It's probably like $200 a month that I'm paying now. Okay. So what would it take? How can I make an extra $200 or $300 to where I wouldn't even think about that? But I like that question, framing things in the way like, what would it take? Because there's nothing if I want to have an 8-figure business, 9-figure business, like it's just a matter of inputs and outputs. So what would it take? And then just backing out, like, how many leads would I get? How much ad spend would I get? How many salespeople do I need to get? What kind of a product do I need to get? What kind of price? And what would it take to get what I want to do? So just framing things, and it's not that I'm never going to be able to do that. Just what would it take? And then you can decide whether or not you want to pay that cost. Mm-hmm. And everything has a price. Yeah. And we get to decide whether or not we want to pay that price. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we have unrealistic expectations about what we want to accomplish. So, for example, if you want to have this thing, you want to have this amazing business, or you want to have this amazing income, you want to have this amazing life, but you aren't willing to put in the work in.
Yeah.
It'd be like me walking into Tesla and trying to buy a Cybertruck with $8,000. No, it's like the Cybertruck costs $100,000. Are you willing to pay this price or not? And if you're not willing to pay that price, you got to go, work as a Honda dealership down the road, right? And so it's important that we think about what the actual cost is and the price of something, so we get to decide whether or not we are willing to pay that price. But we don't get to go to this type of truck and be like, no, I worked really, really hard. I worked really hard for this $8,000. Like, no, you don't understand how I worked hard. And Elon Musk's just looking at you like, you didn't work hard enough.
Yeah.
Like, this is the price.
Yeah.
Are you willing to pay the price? If not, Honda dealership's right down the road.
I'll tell you in 7 days when I got that Cybertruck, I was sleepless nights. I was trying to figure out. It's not even about my son. It's not about him pressuring me. It's the Cybertruck is when you go to a soccer field, and everybody comes up to you, and they come up to your son, and they say, you must be so proud of your dad, right? And that 7 days was like me driving around, and people, both sides, coming to me like telling me to slow down or roll down my windows, like tell me about the car, and I can't talk to people. I'm not promoting the car, And then I went to a soccer field. I had 40 different business owners like scanning my QR code and opting in, and the 7 days, one thing really clicked into me of how to pay the Cybertruck. And you guys can see it in the next episode. But just but one thing is, one aha moment was I was back against the wall, and I was like, how can I pay for the Cybertruck passively? And one aha moment came into me. It was like, I have a bunch of friends who want to talk to me, always once a week. And I said, okay, I don't want to charge my friends anything, but I do have to make some income for this car. So I figured out if I have 20 people at $97 a month, that's around $2,000. I said, okay, I have more than 20 friends. And then I heard, I don't want to pay $97. I said, okay, I really don't want to waste my time on these calls. I know we're all friends, but I need to at least make some type of income. So what I charged was $25 a week. $25 a week, they don't complain about it. They don't even jump on the calls anymore. and you create an offer that's so low barrier that you could jump on 1 hour call. So go back to webinars, you could even have your friends jumping on calls. Now I have these 300 people, I could offer them something $25 a week just to jump on an hour call with me. That same hour call, I'm still talking to my friends. They're all my friends or all my SaaS friends. And can I buy another Cybertruck from it? Can I buy another? So the next thing is like, I call it the SaaS Cybertruck because the SaaS pays for the Cybertruck. Can I have a SaaS boat? Can I have a SaaS plane? And can I get weekends with my kids on a boat, fishing with my kids? And SaaS is paying for my boat. SaaS is paying for my flight, my private jet. Yeah. Like, the Cybertruck was just an aha moment of like putting all my friends, and it's $25 like as an investment that they all sometimes even I'm working on that call and they're all talking to each other. So if I would have never got it, I would have never charged that fee, and it's such a low barrier fee to like be an exclusive group to make those $7,000 sales or $5,000 sales that people always like motivate each other. So Cybertruck is just a tool to get to the next level. Yeah.
And what do you talk about on these calls? What do these calls consist of?
Sometimes it's just ideas we all have. Even they said we should do some. I booked a Florida mansion, in which you're more than welcome. And
okay.
So I booked a 3-floor mansion with like 21 beds, and it was like, oh, Mitch, we should do something in person. I was like, all right. Let's do this. So it was more of like ideas or Mitch, what is a good offer can I do? Mitch, I'm not able to get any closings. All right, this is what you need to do. Like, literally, we motivate each other to get to the next level. What is that offer that you're struggling with? You can't close a client. Even somebody says, even they coached me, they said, Mitch, just call the airplane company. I was like, should I do it now? Yeah, do it now. Hey, you want to jump on a call tomorrow? Yeah. And I was like, Jim, they actually said, he said, so one little even motivation to push you.
Yeah.
And like, I would have never even called the airplane company to jump on a call with me.
Yeah.
It's motivating each other to get to the next level.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Absolutely. All right. We're running out of time. I got a couple things that I like to end the episode with.
Sure.
Okay. The first thing is if you had a billboard in Times Square that millions of people all around the world can see, what would you want that billboard to say?
Actually, I do have a little billboard in Times Square.
Oh, did oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You ready?
Let's hear.
You ready? And one day you got to come to Jersey, and I'll take you to Times Square and see the billboard.
Okay.
The billboard is the ultimate billboard. It's the Cybertruck.
There you go.
So if you see my Instagram videos, the content, the Cybertruck is all wrapped in QR codes, is wrapped in ChatGPT images. People are taking photos, videos of me. As I'm going there, you see kids. I'm motivating kids. How did you buy it? How did you buy the Cybertruck, Mr. Sir? And I'm like, listen to your mom. Listen to your mom. Oh, thank you so much for saying that to my son. Like, sometimes even like I sit back and it shows Alomar leads. It shows Lola. It shows, I get so many scanned QR codes, people opting in. You had to create a billboard of your own wherever you go, to Times Square, to New Jersey, to Philadelphia, that you stand out of the crowd, and sometimes you feel uncomfortable to stand out of the crowd, but you have to be a walking billboard of right now of just being an idol to represent your business. And some people, they wear others, you wear your swag as well.
Swag.
So I would like to, yeah, there we go. So I would like to say it takes a lot even for you to even change your clothing. So I had Tommy Hilfiger, I had Michael Jordan.
Yeah, let's not wear other men's names on us, huh?
Yes.
Let's wear our own stuff.
So the billboard thing is, you need to be a billboard, a walking billboard of Times Square on your body, that you're representing your brand so loud and clear that if you're saving cancer patients, if you are doing roof replacements, don't wear that other person's brand. Be the walking billboard of Times Square on you.
Yes, sir. I love it.
There we go.
I got one more for you.
Sure.
I like to end with a challenge.
Okay.
Okay. You challenging our viewers. What would you challenge our viewers to do to improve their life or their business? What would you challenge people to do?
Their life?
Anything, either the life or the business. Like, what challenge would you give the people to make a big impact on their life or their business?
This is going to be very simple, very simple. Because I was at the bar, and this guy was like, "How can I improve my business, my swimming business?" And every single thing right now, actually, if you put in the comments, if you put the biggest impact for your business, whatever it is free value. So if you have a business, I'm going to just say, this guy, he does swimming lessons. He says, I do swimming courses. I said, do you have social media? No. You just have to just create a 2-second clip on social media. Stick to one, Instagram, and just share that. And be like, oh, this is how to do this. If you go like this on Instagram, you go like this to improve your swimming, this is how you improve. Just a quick 2-second clip. This is how I improve it. This is how I improve it. Literally just, like, I would just do something like this. Like, hey, guys, this is how I improve my swimming lessons. Literally, that's it. And if you take that, the biggest challenge for you on this video, if you create that clip and you put that link on your social media, put that link into the comments, and it just shows that you're taking action, that you've listened to this video, and you've taken that action, even challenging yourself to create that 2-second clip. Be like, Mitch, All-Star, I did it. I did it for myself. I did it for my kids. I did it for my wife. I did it for my business, to do a 2-second clip. And I'm actually going to copy that Instagram, Reel, whatever you're doing, put that link back into the comments and showing that you're taking massive actions for your business, for your customers, for anybody. So the action is in the putting of doing something. And if you can't do it, if you can't do that 2-second clip, or even just saying, what's going on, everybody? I'm a swimming coach. Then that's the challenge to you, is create that social media content and bring it back to this and showing that you've did it. Let's do a challenge for each other to see the comments of you doing the challenge back to this. And if you guys watch the whole entire clip, it would mean a lot to mean that I impacted somebody, that they shared free value, and they're able to even be on a podcast even like this. So create that challenge for yourself of creating that 2-second clip, put that link into those comments and showing that you're proud that you did something.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So make that clip, put out that free value, and put it in the comments.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That link. You create a reel, it says share link. Mitch, here you go, share link. Dude, it's 10 seconds or less. Don't overthink it. Break your own barriers. Do it for a higher purpose. Do it for your mom. Do it for your dog. Do it for
Do it for your dog.
Do it for your dog. The proud dog. I have a dog, and do it for your dog. Be like, showing your dog, like, we do roof replacements. What do you think about this, Geeky? My little dog, Geeky, what do you think about it? My dog has the most views on YouTube. So do it for yourself. Do it for your dog. Copy that link. Put it back here. If you watch this, it means that you're proud of yourself and you've even gave yourself some value of what to do. Write down some notes and put that link back in here and show us some love.
Absolutely. Awesome, man. It's been a wonderful episode.
Likewise.
Thank you so much.
Wait for the next one, and we'll do a next one and be a little bit more prepared on my voice, because I was speaking on stage, and I think it's been speaking on stages, but it's I appreciate this opportunity also to actually give me this opportunity to share my voice and share even for my kids to say, like, Dad's on a cool podcast. So I'm very humble, very honored.
Yeah,
and thank you so much. And if I could share anything back to your audience, I will share it as well. And I will actually put my own money towards this video to put ads to boost it as well.
Awesome.
If you get this opportunity, man, just if you're talking to me, if you see me in person, just share a little something of what value you got.
Yeah. Awesome, bro. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Like, follow, subscribe, all that other stuff. Until next time, this is the A-Lister Show. Peace.
Peace.